Isabella had endured years of torment in her family home. Her stepfather, Marco, was a man of power and control, whose abusive behavior left deep scars on her soul. Her mother, Maria, a woman once full of life, had become a shadow of her former self, trapped in the cycle of abuse and fear. Despite the darkness surrounding her, Isabella nurtured a spark of hope deep within, dreaming of a life free from pain and suffering. One night, after yet another violent outburst from Marco, Isabella made a bold decision. She couldn't endure the abuse any longer. With trembling hands, she packed a small bag, taking only the essentials: some clothes, a cherished photo of her late father, and a worn-out journal where she had poured out her heart over the years. Silently, she crept out of the house, her heart pounding with fear and anticipation. The cold night air was a stark contrast to the stifling atmosphere inside her home. Isabella's breath came in short, sharp gasps as she ran through the streets, not daring to look back. She had no specific destination in mind, only the desperate urge to escape. As she navigated the dark alleys and deserted roads, she silently prayed for safety and guidance. Eventually, Isabella found herself at the edge of the city, near a run-down bus station. She used the little money she had saved from odd jobs to buy a ticket to a town far away, hoping to start anew. As the bus rumbled down the highway, she stared out the window, feeling a mix of relief and uncertainty about the future. In the new town, Isabella sought refuge in a shelter for abused women. The shelter was a sanctuary for those who had suffered similar fates, providing not just a roof over their heads, but also emotional support and a sense of community. The staff welcomed her with open arms, offering her a safe place to stay and counseling to help her heal from her traumatic past. Isabella's first few days at the shelter were a blur of tears and sleepless nights. The memories of Marco's abuse haunted her, making it difficult to trust anyone. However, the kindness of the staff and the camaraderie of the other women began to chip away at the walls she had built around her heart. Slowly, she started to open up, sharing bits and pieces of her story during the group therapy sessions. During one such session, Isabella felt a deep connection with a counselor named Julia. Julia was a compassionate and understanding woman who had once been in Isabella's shoes. Her own experience with abuse gave her a unique insight into Isabella's pain and a determination to help her find her strength. "Isabella, I want you to know that you're not alone," Julia said gently during one of their private sessions. "We all have dark secrets and painful pasts, but here, you have a chance to rebuild your life. Take it one step at a time, and remember that it's okay to lean on others for support." Isabella nodded, her eyes brimming with tears. "Thank you, Julia. I don't know what I would have done without this place. For the first time in years, I feel like there's a glimmer of hope." As the weeks turned into months, Isabella began to find her footing. She enrolled in classes to finish her education and took on a part-time job at a local cafe. The routine and responsibilities gave her a sense of purpose and stability. More importantly, she began to forge meaningful relationships with the people around her, creating a support network that she had never experienced before. However, despite the progress she was making, Isabella knew that she couldn't fully move forward without confronting the dark secret that had haunted her for so long. It was a secret that had been buried deep within her, a secret that held the key to her complete healing and freedom. Isabella's new life in the shelter provided her with a sense of safety and community that she had never known before. However, the weight of her dark secret grew heavier with each passing day. She found herself torn between the desire to share her burden and the fear of being judged or not believed. During one of her therapy sessions with Julia, the counselor noticed Isabella's increasing anxiety. "Isabella, you've made incredible progress, but I can see that something is still troubling you. Remember, This is a safe space. Whatever you share here stays here." Isabella took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly. "There's something I haven't told anyone," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's something I witnessed a long time ago, something terrible." Julia leaned in, her expression gentle and encouraging. "Take your time, Isabella. We're here to support you, no matter what." Isabella hesitated, then began to speak, her words tumbling out in a rush. "When I was 10, I saw Marco. He was involved in something illegal. He and his associates were trafficking children. I stumbled upon them one night, and Marco threatened me, said he'd kill me and my mother if I ever told anyone." The room fell silent as Isabella's confession hung in the air. Julia's face remained calm, but her eyes showed a flicker of shock and concern. "Isabella, thank you for trusting us with this. What you witnessed is incredibly serious, and it's understandable that you've carried this fear for so long." Isabella nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I was too scared to say anything. I didn't want to put my mother or myself in danger. But now, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid Marco might still be involved in those terrible things." Julia reached out and held Isabella's hand. "You did the right thing by telling us. We need to think carefully about the next steps. Your safety is our top priority, but we also need to consider how to stop Marco and protect others who might be at risk." Over the next few days, Julia and the shelter staff worked to connect Isabella with legal and law enforcement professionals who specialized in trafficking cases. They assured Isabella that her identity would be protected and that she would receive all the support she needed. Isabella found herself in a whirlwind of meetings with detectives and lawyers. Each time she recounted her story, she felt a mix of relief and anxiety. The authorities took her claims seriously and began an investigation into Marco's activities. Isabella knew that this was the right thing to do, but the fear of retaliation lingered in the back of her mind. As the investigation progressed, Isabella continued to lean on the support of the shelter community. Her friendships with other residents grew stronger, and she found solace in their shared experiences and mutual encouragement. The bond she formed with Julia deepened, and Isabella often turned to her for guidance and reassurance. One evening, after a particularly intense meeting with the detectives, Isabella sat with Julia in the shelter's garden. The setting sun cast a warm glow over the flowers, creating a serene atmosphere. Julia handed Isabella a cup of tea and sat beside her. "You've shown incredible bravery, Isabella," Julia said softly. "Facing your fears and speaking out about such a horrific experience is no small feat." Isabella sighed, her gaze distant. "I just want to make sure that no one else has to go through what I did. If my testimony can help stop Marco and his associates, then it's worth it." Julia nodded, her eyes filled with admiration. "And it will, Isabella. Your courage is making a difference. Just remember to take care of yourself in the process. Healing takes time, and you don't have to do it alone." Isabella smiled weakly, grateful for Julia's unwavering support. "Thank you, Julia. I don't know where I'd be without you and everyone here at the shelter." As the days went by, Isabella felt a growing sense of empowerment. She was no longer the frightened girl hiding in the shadows. She was a survivor, a fighter, determined to reclaim her life and bring justice to those who had been harmed. Her journey was far from over, but she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With Isabella's testimony, the investigation into Marco's criminal activities gained momentum. The authorities worked tirelessly to gather evidence, interviewing other potential witnesses and piecing together the network of trafficking that Isabella had bravely exposed. Isabella remained in close contact with the detectives, providing additional information whenever needed. Despite the progress, Isabella couldn't shake the fear that Marco might discover her involvement in the investigation. The shelter staff reassured her, implementing additional security measures to ensure her safety. Julia and the other counselors provided constant support, helping her manage the anxiety and stress. One evening, as Isabella was having dinner with her new friends at the shelter, Julia approached with a serious expression. "Isabella, the lead detective wants to speak with you. They've made some significant breakthroughs in the case." Isabella's heart raced as she followed Julia to the office. The detective, a stern yet compassionate woman named Detective Harris, greeted her with a nod. "Isabella, your courage has been instrumental in our investigation. We've identified several key members of the trafficking ring, and we're preparing to make arrests soon." Isabella felt a mixture of relief and apprehension. "What does this mean for me? Will I have to testify in court?" Detective Harris nodded. "It's likely. Your testimony is crucial to securing convictions. But don't worry, we'll provide you with all the support and protection you need." Isabella took a deep breath, her resolve strengthening. "I'll do whatever it takes to stop them. I want to help." As the weeks passed, the investigation led to the arrest of multiple individuals involved in the trafficking ring, including Marco. The news brought a sense of vindication to Isabella, but it also reopened old wounds. She struggled with nightmares and flashbacks, but the support from the shelter community and her friends helped her cope. One afternoon, Isabella received a call from Detective Harris. "Isabella, we need you to come to the station. There's someone who wants to thank you." Curious and slightly anxious, Isabella went to the station with Julia. They were led to a room where a woman and a young girl waited. The woman looked up, tears in her eyes. "Isabella, you don't know me, but you saved my daughter's life. She was one of the children Marco had taken." Isabella's eyes filled with tears as the woman hugged her tightly. "Thank you, Isabella. Because of you, my daughter is safe." The moment was overwhelming, but it also solidified Isabella's sense of purpose. She had made a real difference, and that gave her the strength to continue her journey towards healing and justice. The day of the trial arrived, and Isabella prepared herself to face Marco in court. The anticipation was nerve-wracking, but she was determined to see this through. Julia accompanied her, offering reassurance and strength. In the courtroom, Isabella saw Marco for the first time since her escape. He sat with a smug expression, as though confident that he would get away with his crimes. Seeing him brought back a flood of painful memories, but Isabella steeled herself. She had come too far to back down now. When it was her turn to testify, Isabella walked to the witness stand with her head held high. She recounted her story with courage, detailing the abuse she had endured and the horrors she had witnessed. The courtroom listened in stunned silence, the weight of her words hanging in the air. As she spoke, Isabella could see the reactions of the jury and the judge. Their expressions ranged from shock to sympathy, and she knew her testimony was having an impact. She glanced at Marco, whose confident facade had begun to crack. The reality of his situation was finally sinking in. After she finished, the defense tried to discredit her, bringing up her past and questioning her motives. But Isabella remained calm, answering their questions with honesty and conviction. She had nothing to hide and everything to gain by telling the truth. When the prosecution rested its case, Isabella returned to her seat beside Julia. The trial continued with testimonies from other witnesses and experts, each piece of evidence further incriminating Marco and his associates. The tension in the courtroom was palpable, but Isabella felt a sense of hope. The jury deliberated for what felt like an eternity, but finally, the verdict was announced: guilty on all counts. Marco and his associates were sentenced to long prison terms, ensuring they could no longer harm anyone else. Isabella felt a wave of relief wash over her, knowing that justice had been served. After the trial, Isabella received an outpouring of support from the community. People who had followed her story reached out to thank her for her bravery. She became a symbol of hope and resilience for many, inspiring others to speak out against abuse and injustice. Despite the victory in court, Isabella knew her journey was far from over. The emotional scars of her past would take time to heal, but she was no longer alone. With the support of Julia, her friends at the shelter, and the broader community, she began to rebuild her life, one step at a time. With the trial behind her, Isabella focused on creating a new life. The community's support was overwhelming, and offers of help and opportunities poured in. Isabella decided to take advantage of these offers and enrolled in a local college to pursue a degree in social work. She wanted to use her experiences to help others who had gone through similar traumas. At the college, Isabella found a new sense of purpose. Her classes were challenging but invigorating, and she quickly became known for her dedication and insight. She made new friends who admired her strength and determination, and she finally felt like she was building a future she could be proud of. One day, while studying in the campus library, Isabella was approached by a professor named Dr. Allen. "I've heard about your story, Isabella. Your bravery is truly inspiring. Have you ever considered sharing your experiences more widely?" Isabella hesitated. "I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. It's still very personal and painful." Dr. Allen nodded understandingly. "Of course. But remember, your story has the power to change lives. Whenever you're ready, there will be many who would benefit from hearing it." As Isabella continued her studies, she began to think more about Dr. Allen's words. She realized that while her journey had been incredibly difficult, it had also equipped her with unique insights and strengths. Perhaps sharing her story could indeed help others and further her healing process. Isabella decided to start small. She volunteered to speak at a local support group for survivors of abuse. Standing before the group, she felt a wave of nervousness but also a sense of determination. As she shared her journey, she saw the impact her words had on others, their eyes filled with empathy and understanding. After the meeting, several attendees approached her to thank her for her courage. "Your story gave me hope," one woman said. "It's comforting to know that I'm not alone and that healing is possible." Encouraged by this experience, Isabella began speaking at more events and even collaborated with Julia to develop workshops for survivors of abuse. Her workshops focused on empowerment, self-care, and rebuilding trust, skills that had been crucial in her own recovery. Through these activities, Isabella found a new calling. She realized that helping others navigate their healing journeys was incredibly fulfilling. Her work gained recognition, and she was invited to speak at conferences and events across the country. Isabella's message of resilience and hope resonated with many, and she became a sought-after advocate for survivors of abuse. Despite her busy schedule, Isabella never forgot the people who had helped her along the way. She remained actively involved with the shelter, often returning to volunteer and support new residents. Her bond with Julia grew even stronger, and they frequently collaborated on projects aimed at improving support systems for survivors. As Isabella's confidence grew, she decided to write a memoir. It was a difficult process, reliving painful memories and putting them into words, but it was also cathartic. The book, titled Unbroken: My Journey from Darkness to Light, was a heartfelt account of her experiences and the lessons she had learned. When the book was published, it received widespread acclaim. Readers were moved by Isabella's honesty and strength, and many reached out to share their own stories of resilience. The memoir became a bestseller, further cementing Isabella's role as a leading voice for survivors of abuse. Through all these achievements, Isabella remained grounded and humble. She knew that her journey was ongoing and that healing was a lifelong process. But she also knew that she had transformed her pain into a source of strength and purpose, and she was determined to continue making a difference in the world. As Isabella's life continued to flourish, she found herself thinking about the possibility of starting a family of her own. The idea of creating a safe, loving home was something she had dreamed about for a long time. Yet, the trauma of her past made her cautious about forming intimate relationships. One evening, while attending a charity event for survivors of abuse, Isabella met Daniel, a kind-hearted and compassionate man who was a volunteer at the shelter. They struck up a conversation, and Isabella was immediately drawn to his genuine interest in helping others and his gentle demeanor. Over the next few months, Isabella and Daniel's friendship deepened. They bonded over their shared passion for advocacy and their mutual desire to support those in need. Daniel admired Isabella's resilience and dedication, and she appreciated his unwavering support and kindness. One day, while they were volunteering together at the shelter, Daniel asked Isabella out for coffee. "I'd love to get to know you better, outside of our work here," he said with a warm smile. Isabella hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "I'd like that too, Daniel." Their coffee date turned into a series of outings, each bringing them closer. Daniel's patience and understanding helped Isabella feel safe and valued, and she began to open up about her past. Daniel listened without judgment, offering comfort and reassurance. As their relationship blossomed, Isabella introduced Daniel to Julia and her friends at the shelter. They welcomed him with open arms, seeing the positive impact he had on Isabella's life. Daniel's kindness and dedication quickly won them over. One evening, as they walked hand in hand through a park, Daniel turned to Isabella. "I know your past has been incredibly difficult, but I want you to know that I'm here for you, no matter what. I love you, Isabella, and I want to build a future together." Isabella's heart swelled with emotion. "I love you too, Daniel. You've brought so much joy and stability into my life. I want to build a future with you as well." Their relationship continued to grow, and they began to discuss the possibility of marriage and starting a family. Isabella's fears gradually gave way to excitement as she envisioned a life filled with love, trust, and happiness. Daniel proposed to Isabella on a sunny afternoon in the same park where they had shared so many meaningful conversations. He knelt down, holding a small velvet box, and looked into her eyes. "Isabella, you are the strongest, most incredible person I've ever met. Will you marry me and build a life together?" Tears of joy streamed down Isabella's face as she nodded. "Yes, Daniel, I will." Their wedding was a beautiful and intimate affair, surrounded by friends and family who had supported them throughout their journey. Julia, who had become like a second mother to Isabella, officiated the ceremony. It was a day filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a bright future. After their wedding, Isabella and Daniel moved into a cozy home near the shelter. They continued their work as advocates, using their experiences to inspire and support others. Isabella's memoir became a staple in support groups and counseling sessions, offering hope and guidance to those who needed it most. In time, Isabella and Daniel welcomed their first child, a beautiful baby girl named Hope. Holding her daughter in her arms, Isabella felt a profound sense of healing and fulfillment. She had broken free from the cycle of abuse and created a loving, nurturing environment for her family. Isabella's journey from darkness to light had come full circle. She had transformed her pain into purpose, building a life filled with love, compassion, and resilience. With Daniel by her side and a new family to cherish, she knew that she had truly found her place in the world. With a loving family and a fulfilling career, Isabella continued to expand her advocacy work, determined to make an even greater impact. She and Daniel founded a non-profit organization called Voices of Hope, dedicated to supporting survivors of abuse and trafficking. Their mission was to provide resources, counseling, and legal assistance to those in need, helping them reclaim their lives. The organization's outreach programs quickly gained traction. They hosted workshops, support groups, and awareness campaigns, reaching a wide audience and garnering significant community support. Isabella's memoir and public speaking engagements further amplified their message, inspiring many to join their cause. One day, Isabella received a call from a school principal who had read her book. "Isabella, your story is incredibly powerful. Would you be willing to speak to our students about resilience and overcoming adversity?" Isabella agreed, recognizing the importance of educating young people about these critical issues. At the school assembly, she shared her journey, emphasizing the importance of courage, support, and self-worth. The students listened intently, moved by her words and the strength she radiated. After the assembly, a young girl named Emily approached Isabella. "Ms. Isabella, thank you for sharing your story. I've been going through something similar at home, and hearing you gives me hope." Isabella hugged Emily gently. "You're not alone, Emily. There are people who care and can help. Let's talk more about how we can support you." The encounter reaffirmed Isabella's commitment to her work. She knew that for every person like Emily, there were countless others who needed support and guidance. Isabella and Daniel expanded Voices of Hope to include programs specifically for youth, addressing issues such as bullying, abuse, and mental health. As the organization grew, Isabella's leadership and vision attracted dedicated volunteers and staff. They worked tirelessly to create a network of safe spaces, shelters, and resource centers across the region. Isabella's compassionate approach and personal experience made her a beloved figure in the community. One of the most significant milestones for Voices of Hope was the opening of a new shelter named Luna's Haven, in honor of Isabella's late mother. The facility provided comprehensive services, including emergency housing, counseling, medical care, and job training. The grand opening was attended by local officials, supporters, and media, highlighting the impact of Isabella's work. During the opening ceremony, Isabella addressed the crowd. "Luna's Haven is more than just a shelter. It's a place of healing, empowerment, and new beginnings. We are here to ensure that no one has to face their struggles alone. Together, we can create a future where every survivor has the opportunity to thrive." The shelter quickly became a beacon of hope for many, offering a lifeline to those in desperate need. Isabella's efforts also caught the attention of national organizations, leading to partnerships and collaborations that further amplified their reach. Despite the demands of her work, Isabella always made time for her family. She and Daniel balanced their professional and personal lives, ensuring that their daughter, Hope, grew up in a loving and supportive environment. They instilled in her the values of kindness, resilience, and the importance of helping others. As Hope grew older, she became actively involved in her parents' work, often volunteering at the shelters and participating in advocacy events. Isabella and Daniel were proud to see her developing into a compassionate and driven young woman, inspired by their example. Isabella's journey was a testament to the power of resilience and the impact of a supportive community. She had turned her darkest moments into a source of light for others, creating lasting change and offering hope to countless individuals. With Voices of Hope thriving and her family by her side, Isabella knew that her mission was far from over. She remained dedicated to her cause, continually striving to make the world a safer, more compassionate place for all. As Voices of Hope continued to grow, Isabella's dedication and impact began to attract national attention. Her story and the success of the organization were featured in several prominent media outlets, leading to increased visibility and support. One day, Isabella received an invitation to speak at a national conference on human rights and social justice. The event brought together leaders, activists, and policymakers from across the country. Isabella was honored to be asked to share her experiences and insights on such a prestigious platform. At the conference, Isabella delivered a powerful speech that resonated deeply with the audience. She spoke about her journey from a victim of abuse to a leader in advocacy, emphasizing the importance of community support and the need for systemic change to protect vulnerable populations. Her speech received a standing ovation, and many attendees approached her afterward, expressing their admiration and eagerness to collaborate. Among them was Senator Rebecca Martinez, a prominent advocate for human rights. "Isabella, your story is incredibly inspiring," Senator Martinez said. "I'd love to discuss ways we can work together to strengthen legislation and support services for survivors." Isabella was thrilled by the opportunity. She and Senator Martinez began collaborating on several initiatives, including a bill aimed at increasing funding for shelters and support programs nationwide. Their partnership brought new energy and resources to the cause, leading to significant legislative advancements. Back home, Voices of Hope experienced a surge in donations and volunteer sign-ups. The increased support allowed the organization to expand its services and reach more people in need. They opened additional shelters, launched educational campaigns, and developed innovative programs to address the root causes of abuse and trafficking. One such program was a mentorship initiative, pairing survivors with trained mentors who provided guidance and support as they rebuilt their lives. Isabella personally mentored several young women, finding immense fulfillment in helping them navigate their healing journeys. Among these ments was a young woman named Maria, who had escaped an abusive relationship and was struggling to regain her confidence. Isabella saw a reflection of her younger self in Maria and dedicated herself to helping her find her strength. "Maria, you have so much potential," Isabella encouraged during one of their sessions. "Don't let your past define you. Use it as a source of strength to build the future you deserve." Maria took Isabella's words to heart, and with her mentor's support, she began to flourish. She enrolled in college, pursued a degree in psychology, and eventually became a counselor at Voices of Hope, helping others overcome their traumas. Isabella's influence extended beyond her immediate community. She was invited to participate in international forums and conferences, sharing her expertise and advocating for global efforts to combat abuse and trafficking. Her work inspired many to take action, creating a ripple effect that reached far and wide. Despite her busy schedule, Isabella always prioritized her family. She and Daniel made sure to spend quality time with Hope, nurturing her growth and supporting her interests. They often took family trips, exploring new places and creating cherished memories. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Hope shared her aspirations with her parents. "I want to follow in your footsteps," she said with determination. "I want to help people and make a difference in the world, just like you." Isabella and Daniel exchanged proud smiles. "We believe in you, Hope," Isabella said. "You have the compassion and strength to achieve anything you set your mind to." With her family's unwavering support, Isabella continued her mission. She knew that the fight against abuse and trafficking was ongoing, but she was committed to making a lasting impact. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience, love, and the transformative impact of community. As Voices of Hope thrived and expanded its reach, Isabella remained dedicated to her vision of a world where every survivor had the opportunity to heal, grow, and thrive. Her legacy was one of courage, compassion, and an unyielding commitment to justice and human dignity. As Voices of Hope continued to expand, Isabella recognized the importance of empowering the next generation to carry forward the mission of advocacy and support for survivors. She began focusing on youth engagement programs aimed at educating and inspiring young people to become advocates for change in their own communities. One such program was the Youth Leadership Initiative, which provided training and resources for young leaders interested in social justice. The initiative included workshops, mentorship opportunities, and community service projects, all designed to equip participants with the skills and knowledge needed to make a difference. Isabella frequently visited schools and universities to speak about her journey and the importance of advocacy. Her talks were always well received, sparking interest and passion in students who wanted to contribute to the cause. During one of these visits, she met a high school student named Alex, who expressed a strong desire to get involved. "Ms. Isabella, your story has inspired me so much," Alex said after her presentation. "I want to help others like you have. How can I start?" Isabella smiled warmly. "The first step is to educate yourself and those around you. Start by organizing awareness campaigns at your school, volunteer with local organizations, and don't be afraid to speak up for what's right. We're always looking for passionate young people to join our Youth Leadership Initiative." Alex eagerly joined the initiative, quickly becoming a standout participant. With Isabella's guidance, Alex organized several successful awareness campaigns at school, raising funds and gathering resources for Voices of Hope. Alex's enthusiasm and dedication inspired many classmates to join the cause, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Isabella also launched a scholarship program to support young survivors pursuing higher education. She knew from personal experience how crucial education could be in transforming lives and providing new opportunities. The scholarships were funded through donations and proceeds from her memoir, ensuring that deserving students could achieve their academic goals without financial burden. One of the first scholarship recipients was a young woman named Sarah, who had overcome significant adversity. Sarah's resilience and determination impressed Isabella, and they quickly formed a close bond. With the scholarship, Sarah was able to attend a prestigious university, where she studied social work with the goal of helping others. "Your support has changed my life, Ms. Isabella," Sarah said during a scholarship ceremony. "I hope to one day make as big an impact as you have." Isabella felt immense pride and joy. "You already are, Sarah. Your strength and dedication are an inspiration to us all. I have no doubt you'll achieve great things." As the years passed, Isabella's commitment to empowering young leaders continued to yield remarkable results. Many of the program participants went on to become influential advocates, social workers, and community leaders. They carried forward the values and lessons they had learned from Isabella, creating a legacy of compassion and justice. Isabella's own family played a crucial role in her efforts. Hope, now a teenager, actively participated in the Youth Leadership Initiative, often leading workshops and mentoring younger participants. She shared her mother's passion for advocacy and was determined to contribute to the cause in meaningful ways. During a family dinner, Hope shared her latest project idea. "Mom, I want to start a peer support group at my school for students who have experienced trauma. I think it could really help." Isabella beamed with pride. "That's a wonderful idea, Hope. Your compassion and initiative are exactly what we need. I'll support you every step of the way." With Isabella's guidance, Hope successfully launched the peer support group, providing a safe space for students to share their experiences and find support. The group quickly grew, becoming a vital resource within the school community. As Isabella looked at her daughter and the many young leaders she had mentored, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. She had turned her pain into a powerful force for good, inspiring a new generation to continue the fight for justice and compassion. The impact of Voices of Hope and Isabella's tireless advocacy was evident in the lives transformed and the communities strengthened. Her journey from a victim of abuse to a beacon of hope and empowerment was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love and support. As Voices of Hope flourished, Isabella recognized the importance of fostering strong community ties to create a supportive network for survivors. She launched several community outreach programs aimed at educating the public, promoting awareness, and encouraging collaboration among various organizations and community members. One of the most successful initiatives was the Community Allies program, which brought together local businesses, schools, religious institutions, and neighborhood groups to support survivors and advocate for change. The program included training sessions, workshops, and community events designed to educate and engage the public. Isabella worked closely with community leaders to organize a series of town hall meetings. These gatherings provided a platform for open dialogue, allowing survivors to share their stories and the community to discuss ways to support them. The meetings also served as an opportunity to address misconceptions about abuse and trafficking, fostering a more informed and compassionate community. During one such town hall meeting, a local business owner named Mr. Thompson stood up to speak. "I want to thank Isabella and Voices of Hope for their incredible work. As a business owner, I believe we can do more to support this cause. I'm committed to providing job opportunities and training programs for survivors." Isabella was moved by Mr. Thompson's pledge. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Your support will make a significant difference in the lives of many survivors. Together, we can create a community where everyone has the opportunity to thrive." Following Mr. Thompson's lead, several other business owners and community members stepped forward to offer their support. This wave of community involvement strengthened the network of resources available to survivors and helped integrate them back into society with dignity and respect. In addition to the Community Allies program, Isabella spearheaded an annual event called Day of Hope. This event brought together people from all walks of life to celebrate resilience and raise awareness about the issues facing survivors of abuse and trafficking. The day included a charity run, educational booths, art exhibits, and performances by local artists and survivors themselves. The inaugural Day of Hope was a resounding success. Thousands of people attended, and the event raised significant funds for Voices of Hope. Isabella delivered a heartfelt speech, emphasizing the importance of community and the collective responsibility to support those in need. "Today, we celebrate the strength and resilience of survivors," Isabella said, her voice filled with emotion. "But our work doesn't end here. It is our duty as a community to continue supporting and uplifting each other. Together, we can build a future where no one has to suffer in silence." The event also featured a poignant moment when Isabella invited several survivors to share their stories on stage. Their bravery and honesty touched the hearts of everyone present, reinforcing the importance of the work being done by Voices of Hope. Among the speakers was Maria, one of Isabella's mentor, who had become a counselor at the organization. "I stand here today because of the support and guidance I've received from Isabella and Voices of Hope," Maria said, her voice steady and confident. "We are proof that with the right support, healing and empowerment are possible." The Day of Hope became an annual tradition, each year growing in size and impact. It served as a powerful reminder of the progress made and the ongoing need for advocacy and support. The event also strengthened the bonds within the community, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose. Isabella's efforts to strengthen community ties extended beyond these programs. She worked with local government officials to develop policies that provided better protection and resources for survivors. Her advocacy led to the creation of a community task force dedicated to addressing abuse and trafficking, ensuring that the issue remained a priority at all levels of government. Through these initiatives, Isabella saw firsthand the power of a united community. The collective efforts of individuals, businesses, and organizations created a supportive environment where survivors could rebuild their lives with confidence and hope. Isabella's vision of a compassionate, informed, and proactive community was becoming a reality. Her relentless dedication to the cause inspired countless others to join the fight, creating a lasting impact that would benefit generations to come. Despite the success and growth of Voices of Hope, Isabella faced personal challenges that tested her resilience and strength. Balancing her roles as a mother, wife, and advocate required immense dedication and energy, often leaving her feeling overwhelmed. One evening, after a particularly long day, Isabella sat down with Daniel to talk about the pressures she was facing. "Daniel, sometimes it feels like I'm being pulled in so many different directions. I want to be the best mother to Hope, a supportive wife, and continue my work with Voices of Hope, but it's exhausting." Daniel listened attentively, holding her hand. "Isabella, you've accomplished so much and helped so many people. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. You need to take care of yourself too. We can find a way to balance everything together." Taking Daniel's advice to heart, Isabella began to prioritize self-care. She carved out time for activities that brought her joy and relaxation, such as gardening and painting. These moments of tranquility helped her recharge and maintain her mental and emotional well-being. In addition to personal self-care, Isabella sought support from her family and friends. She leaned on her close-knit support system, sharing her struggles and seeking their guidance. Julia, who had been a pillar of strength throughout her journey, provided invaluable advice and encouragement. "Isabella, you don't have to do everything alone," Julia reminded her. "You have people around you who care about you and want to help. Lean on them, and don't be afraid to delegate some responsibilities." Heeding Julia's words, Isabella began to delegate more tasks within Voices of Hope. She trusted her dedicated team to handle various aspects of the organization's operations, allowing her to focus on strategic planning and personal time. This not only lightened her load, but also empowered her team to take on more leadership roles. One of the most significant changes came when Isabella appointed Maria as the Deputy Director of Voices of Hope. Maria's journey from mentee to counselor had equipped her with the skills and passion needed to lead. Isabella felt confident that Maria would continue to drive the organization's mission forward. "Maria, you have proven yourself time and again," Isabella said during the announcement. "Your dedication and empathy make you the perfect fit for this role. I trust you to help lead Voices of Hope to even greater heights." Maria accepted the position with gratitude and determination. "Thank you, Isabella. I am honored to take on this responsibility and continue the work we've started. Together, we'll make an even bigger impact. With Maria handling more of the day-to-day operations, Isabella found herself with more time to focus on her family and personal pursuits. She and Daniel planned more family outings and trips, creating cherished memories with Hope. These moments of joy and connection reminded Isabella of the importance of balancing her professional and personal life. Despite the challenges, Isabella's resilience and ability to adapt allowed her to overcome the obstacles she faced. She recognized that taking care of herself was essential to continue her advocacy work and be present for her loved ones. As Voices of Hope continued to thrive under Maria's leadership, Isabella felt a renewed sense of purpose. She focused on expanding the organization's reach, forging new partnerships, and advocating for policy changes at a national level. Her vision of a world where every survivor had the opportunity to heal and thrive remained at the forefront of her efforts. One of the most impactful initiatives she spearheaded was a national campaign called Hope for All. The campaign aimed to raise awareness about the prevalence of abuse and trafficking, promote preventive measures, and advocate for stronger legal protections for survivors. Isabella traveled across the country, meeting with lawmakers, community leaders, and activists to garner support for the campaign. During one of her travels, she met Senator Rebecca Martinez again, who had become a strong ally in the fight for survivors' rights. Together, they worked on a comprehensive bill that aimed to increase funding for support services, strengthen legal protections, and enhance preventive education in schools. Isabella, your tireless advocacy has brought us to this point, Senator Martinez said during a meeting. This bill could change the lives of countless survivors. Let's make it happen. With the combined efforts of Isabella, Senator Martinez, and many dedicated advocates, the bill gained widespread support and was eventually passed into law. It was a monumental achievement, symbolizing the power of collective action and the impact of Isabella's relentless dedication. As Isabella reflected on her journey, she felt immense pride and gratitude. She had turned her pain into a force for good, inspiring others and creating lasting change. The challenges she faced had only strengthened her resolve, and she knew that her work was far from over. Isabella's story was a testament to the strength of the human spirit, the importance of community, and the transformative power of love and support. With her family by her side and Voices of Hope thriving, she looked forward to continuing her mission, knowing that together they could build a brighter future for all. As the years passed, Isabella's legacy of hope and resilience continued to grow. Voices of Hope expanded its reach globally, partnering with international organizations to combat abuse and trafficking on a larger scale. Isabella's vision of a world where every survivor could find support and healing was becoming a reality. Isabella often reflected on her journey and the people who had inspired her along the way. One evening, she sat with Hope in their garden, surrounded by the vibrant flowers they had planted together. Hope, now a young adult, was following in her mother's footsteps, deeply involved in advocacy and support work. "Mom, you've accomplished so much," Hope said, looking around the garden. "But what's next for you? Do you have any new dreams?" Isabella smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "Hope, my dream has always been to create a world where no one has to suffer in silence. While we've made incredible progress, there's always more to do. I want to continue expanding our programs, reaching more people, and inspiring others to join our cause." Hope nodded, inspired by her mother's unwavering dedication. "I want to be a part of that, Mom. I want to help carry on your legacy and make a difference." Together, they began planning new initiatives, focusing on education and prevention. They developed comprehensive programs for schools, teaching young people about healthy relationships, consent, and how to recognize and report abuse. These programs aim to create a generation of informed and empowered individuals who could prevent abuse and support survivors. Isabella also focused on expanding voices of hope globally. She traveled to various countries, sharing her experiences and collaborating with local organizations to establish support networks and advocacy programs. Her efforts brought international recognition and support, furthering the reach and impact of the organization. During one of her international trips, Isabella visited a shelter for survivors in a remote village. The women and children there had faced unimaginable hardships, but they were beginning to rebuild their lives with the help of dedicated volunteers and resources from Voices of Hope. Isabella sat with a group of women, listening to their stories and offering words of encouragement. One woman, named Amina, shared how she had escaped a violent marriage and found refuge in the shelter. "Your story gives me hope, Isabella," Amina said, holding her child's hand. "Knowing that someone like you cares about us means everything. Thank you for giving us a chance to start over." Isabella felt deeply moved by Amina's words. "Amina, you are incredibly brave. It's people like you who inspire me to keep going. Together, we can build a better future." The connections Isabella made during her travels reinforced her belief in the power of community and collective action. She returned home with renewed energy and determination, ready to implement new ideas and strengthen the global network of support. Back in the United States, Isabella and Hope organized an annual international summit on abuse and trafficking, bringing together activists, survivors, policymakers, and organizations from around the world. The summit provided a platform for sharing knowledge, strategies, and stories of resilience, fostering a sense of unity and collaboration. At the inaugural summit, Isabella delivered a keynote address, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here and the work that still lay ahead. "Today, we stand united in our commitment to ending abuse and trafficking," she began, her voice resonating with passion. "Our strength lies in our shared experiences, our collective wisdom, and our unwavering determination. Together, we can create a world where every survivor finds hope and every individual is free from fear." The summit was a resounding success, leading to new partnerships, initiatives, and a global movement dedicated to supporting survivors and preventing abuse. Isabella's vision was taking shape, and her impact was felt across the world. As Isabella continued her work, she often found herself reflecting on the power of resilience and the importance of community. She knew that the journey was far from over, but she felt a deep sense of fulfillment and hope. Isabella's legacy was not just in the programs she had created or the policies she had influenced, but in the lives she had touched and the people she had inspired. Her story was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the transformative power of love, compassion, and support. With her family by her side and a global network of allies, Isabella looked to the future with hope and determination. She knew that together, they could build a world where every survivor had the opportunity to heal, grow, and thrive. Isabella's journey had come full circle, from a young girl escaping an abusive home to a global advocate for survivors. Her legacy was one of hope, resilience, and unwavering commitment to justice and compassion. And as she looked ahead, she knew that the seed she had planted would continue to grow, creating a brighter future for generations to come. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to let us know how much you like the story. Also watch the video that is currently on your screen. See you soon.